Hi, this is Frank Ayers from Caspian Arts, and I'm making a quick video on volume problems on the iPad. I know from experience we have a lot of support calls on volume problems, and 100% of the time that we can engage the person having the problem, it's a combination of these problems I'm about to describe. So here we go. Let's say you're playing something like Scribble Knots. There you have the volume, no problem. So I'll close that down, volume goes away. But somehow your system mute was set. And I don't know if you caught that, but I swiped at the bottom here and brought up this little menu, and you'll see a little kind of bell looking icon with, it's got a hash through it, and if it's on, if the mute is on, then the icon turns white, and at least on my iPad. And to turn it off, the white goes off and it goes gray. And you also have like a little text that tells you it's on or off. So right now that's on. So somehow that got on. Maybe a little kid was playing with the iPad and accidentally, was moving lots of things around and accidentally turned on. Now you turn on Scribble Knots and the volume is gone. And anything you do in here in Scribble Knots, go to their volume menu, it's not going to help. Leaves a lot of people struggling trying to figure out how to get the volume on. And so, and a lot of people just don't know how to go to that system mute. But what makes this more confusing is that if you go to, say, music, or some of the iOS installed apps, and other apps do too, but do this, they don't honor the system mute. So for instance, if I come here and I have the system mute on, but I'm in the music app on the iPad and the volume still plays, it's not honoring that mute. So that really causes a problem, because then somebody comes into these apps and they say, hey, the volume works here, but it doesn't work in Scribble Knots, or it doesn't work in some other app. What's the problem with that app? But that app has absolutely no problem. The only real problem, which isn't a problem at all, is that they are honoring the system mute. So to get out of trouble, you just come, turn off the system mute, go back into whichever app is having the volume problem, problem is solved. Now there's one variant of this problem that makes this so that's, I think 90+% of people are going to be taken care of at this point. But the variant of this problem is when you actually go into your system settings. This used to be the default. It's no longer the default, but it's still, people find themselves in this problem. But if you go to your settings, so if you, by default, it's on lock rotation, the side switch. And the side switch is right here. Let's see if that's a little blurry there. It's a little side switch here. And now, by default, that switch actually controls your lock rotation, so that whatever way you turn it, it gets locked. Or you can move that side switch and move your screen around. So what does that have to do with volume? Well, this is what it has to do, is that side switch can be changed so that it controls the system mute and no longer controls the lock rotation. So now if that's on, for whatever reason, if that's on, sometimes it gets on, it's not the default, but sometimes it gets on, and then say a little child comes and is playing with the iPad and switches this off, now you're in the same problem, where if I go to my Scribble Knots, no sound. And there won't be sound now, even if you follow what I said earlier and come to here, you won't see the system mute anymore, because the system mute is now being controlled by the side switch. And now where the system mute used to be is the lock rotation icon, and that's not going to do you any good in this case. So watch this. It's as simple as this. I mean, you can either go into the system settings and reverse that, or you hit that side switch, your volume's back. So those are the two variations of this problem, and unless something is really wrong, this will take care of your volume problems.